Hey folks, this is Tony and welcome to some more game dev. Here again, another Sunday and another game dev stream, actually being consistent, which has been pretty nice. Today though, Drixy was around, and so rather than kind of break the streak, we thought we'd just bring Drixy in for some art stuff. Let's switch over to this one here. So Drixy's going to be on some pixel work.
Yeah, hey guys.
Yeah, sorry, intros.
Well, everybody knows who I am by now, I hope.
Well, maybe not. I don't know. I mention you from time to time.
Just occasionally, you know, the one that does the art.
But if there's not an intro, Drixy is my wife, who is helping me do all the art stuff for the project that we've been looking at. I think today you're mostly looking at Hero and doing some art pass.
Well, I thought about doing that, and I'm realizing I want to do some work on like re-visualizing the hammer, but artists should do a little warm-up first, so I'm going to pause on this little loot dad here and do some of the woods. Just do some floor plans that you already got going on. I feel like you've settled on a map so far, right, Tohi?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just going to play around, do some stamps, have some fun over here, and then once my fingers are warmed up, I'm going to get into the more difficult art.
Can you try chatting again?
Yeah? What seems to be the matter?
Okay. Just wasn't sure if your audio was triggering my PNG tuber. I'll have to keep an eye on that.
Okay.
But regardless, I think that, yeah, I think starting with the floor plans is probably a good idea because we've been just using that blank bottom, like brown for a lot of these.
It needs some love. It needs some leaves.
And some of the tutorial maps that we had done, like previous versions of the forest, had like a lot more character to them.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, probably starting there is probably a reasonable thing. But yeah, you've got floors, you've got hero, you've got some props. There's like a number of art assets that you can work on in the background today.
Yes.
Meanwhile, for myself, I'm mostly focusing on trying to kind of refine a few bugs out of the system. So if we go back over to here, there's a couple of bugs with the skill tree as well as with the movement of the character. So if I come up here and trigger the slime, and we have hero see the slime, once the slime is active and on screen, there's a little bit of a pop that's happening every time the hero and the slime move, and I want to see if I can get rid of that. It should be fluid. You should be able to move continuously, similar to if we move off the map when there is no slime. When we're moving, there's no kind of animation popping there, and it's more fluid. And from a control standpoint, it feels like I'm always in control, whereas for the other one, it feels like the controls are slightly delayed. And it's just something about the way that I'm handling simultaneous movement between the character and the slime. There's just like a 1 or 2 frame delay. So I want to try and figure out what's going on there. I think I'm triggering your PNG tuber as well.
Oh, I mean, that's fine.
I'll try and be more quiet, so that we are not crossing the streams, so to speak.
Never cross the streams.
Okay. So I think.
Why are you being ridiculous? There you are.
Let's bring back you.
Me.
Yeah, I want to show your stuff while I try and figure out what I'm doing here.
Right now, it's simply just scraping in like where my pathways are going to be. Where's my greens? Where's my dirts?
I mean, from a level design standpoint, part of this is also just like the intended path in some regards is to guide the player to the right first, so that they find the slime, and then they'll have to find like the quote-unquote secret path to go up and to the left. So if there's a way to like make the map almost feel more like the path is to the right first, that would be ideal. But are you drawing in the pathways right now as grass instead of as dirt?
Well, the dirt's already laid out. The brown color is the dirt, so I'm trying to laying in the grass right now.
Okay.
Reverse that, right?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm calling out is like right now you have the grass coming in from the center of the
yeah, I realized I was already backwards.
Sorry, what?
I noticed I was already backwards.
Okay.
Yeah. No worries. I've already figured that out. But I was like, also, this is a new map. Maybe we could kind of like review. Should we have like little cobblestones doing the path or like little springy things? I'm just going to play around a little bit because we have the old concept over on this side. I'm just playing with my new system. Don't mind me. A little on the slow side. Like, I feel like we love... Oops. Did something there. The simplicity of it. But we could also... I feel there's still room for improvement. So, I'm going to start with this.
Okay.
Yeah. But dirt paths are still the jam. Understood.
Yeah, I think for this particular section, it is more dirt path based because there simply is more, like this is meant to be more of a hidden kind of lost, like altar or shrine to the goddess.
Yeah, so we are
these
hiding that.
There's first few rooms are more off the beaten path, if that makes sense. Just
yes.
Contextually.
I love that. All right, we'll do that.
Okay.
Yep.
See. Okay, I've adjusted my sensitivity on my PNG tuber. Let's see if that works a little better.
There we go.
Meanwhile,
back at the ranch.
I'm trying to remember all these scenes because we have a lot of different scenes. Can I do this one? I can. I don't know if that helps much in terms of perspective with the picture-in-picture, but I'm going to try seeing about... There's a couple of different bugs. I think I want to start here, though. So I think this might be a difficult one, is the reason I'm hesitant, though. When we look at the combat state machine... Under states, combined turn. Okay, so this is where we have everyone move at the same time. And we sort the plans. Yeah, this whole section is a mess and should be rewritten from scratch. The goals have all abilities that are non-solo go at the same time. The problem is this branch sequence. So I set up this new concept of like if we have multiple things, more than one, we all add them to this branch sequence step. But the branch sequence step has to have a wait until everything is complete. This is adding a 1 frame delay where once we finish the movement, technically there is a 1 frame wait where this has to resolve, which is causing the pop. We need to take a look at the movement system. Yeah. This is tricky. Mostly because I'm... My concern is that we have this system where when a character walks between tiles, it tracks until they're done. It like waits until they're completely finished. And once this is complete, aka they've finished moving between tiles. The moment this is done and we move past and walk is complete, we need to go into the UI immediately. But by having the branching system that allows multiple sequence steps to be performed simultaneously, this yields to a one frame delay, which is just enough to see that animation pop. So we have two options. Either we make the walk finish 1 frame faster, which...
Not the worst idea.
No, it's not. But at the same time, it's not inherently straightforward either. It feels a bit hacky almost. And then the other option is somehow find a way to make this 1 frame quicker, so that this can be done at the exact same time. This is currently operating on a is sequence complete. And that gets called once the sequence is fully done. And the branching sequence step is basically its own sequence. So it fires off a sequence of these steps. So character moving, enemies moving, they all get compiled and fired off as their own individual sequences. But then when that sequence is over, is it an order of operations issue?
Bed mass.
Well, I'm wondering, I don't know if this is going to work, but if we first remove if the count of the sequence builders is greater than 0 and the sequence is complete, then remove. And then if count equals 0, then we return true. This is technically 1 frame faster. That might be all I'm missing.
Okay.
Unless we're 2 frames behind, in which case this won't be enough. How goes the art?
It is good. I'm just trying to keep it simple for the beginning here. But it is going. I got my little stamps, my little cheats that I've created. That's very nice.
Well, that's looking good.
Oh yeah, no, just simple spray in the concept of it and then go in and just throw some leaves everywhere. It's honestly really works. It's really quick. It's really easy. You could throw out a lot of these and just concept proof, I believe is the terminology we like to throw out there. Proof
What
of concept.
Did you say? Concept?
Proof of concept? Concept proof?
Yeah,
Yeah.
proof of concept.
Close enough.
Concept proof was slightly confusing, but I got where you were going, I think.
I had it. I was just struggling a little bit. I knew there was a word for it. But like, I think working with pixel stamps has honestly saved so much time once I discovered how to work with it. And that's what I use my template for over here is I just select whatever I want, create my little brush, and I bring it over here in the right color, and I just stamp. Works out very well.
I think...
Yes. 2 square?
No, I think you've got it. You've just got a little bit of a stamp in the center there.
I know. Don't worry. That little lad's going to go away.
Okay.
He was just my first stamp.
What scene was I on? This one. So this has not fixed it, but it's also kind of fixed it. sometimes it looks like we're moving fluidly and sometimes it still breaks. So I think it's going to kind of be a weird ordering thing, dependent on whether or not this coroutine gets hit first, or whether or not this one executes first in the frame, or whether or not we lost our audio, or whether or not the walk executes. So now it's like now the problem is it's dependent on which coroutine happens first. And I don't know if I have control over that.
Why wouldn't you have control?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I would think these would trigger first before we get to these ones. I guess the trick here is that it's hard to debug this because it's like a continuous movement problem. But I guess at the very least I could put in some breakpoints to just see on a single frame or a single action, does the walk happen first or does the branch happen first? Where's the walk? I guess I could just put it in here. Okay. We want to specifically get that breakpoint. So walk complete, return true. This is on frame 2100, 613.
It's a lot of frames.
This is 15. Which character is this? This is the player. So the player ended a little bit later, which is fine. So if we ever have movements where the enemies are slower, we could run into problems. And this was 615, but we don't have a print here, so we need to add a similar print so that we can see what frame the combined sequence or the branch is complete at. I'll just say branch. Nah. Let's do that. Cool. Now I have to restart. It did not take you long to get back into doing the art.
No. It's just, as I said, this is just a little warm up. Now, I confess, it took me a hot minute to remember how to make a stamp. It has been a little while since I've done it, but it is literally just Control B. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. Why is it B? I don't know. It should be like Control S, but that's safe. Control Stamp. I'm trying to organize the shadows a little better because in the previous ones I kind of threw them around willy-nilly. So I'm trying to like focus into where there should be more shadows or more definition. Like, what would you say the overall mood of our woods are now that we're kind of like getting closer? Spoopy? Oh,
Yeah.
they spooky. Okay. I'm definitely going to emphasize the darker colors then. Maybe some more eerie purples I'll throw in for some texture. Without going too busy, because we like how simple it is.
I think the like 3 green colors that you have now kind of work fairly well.
They do.
I mean, if you want to explore some other ideas, I think that's fair. But I do think that the base kind of like simplicity of the floors work really well because we have such complicated props that appear over top of them with the different grass and like bush and tree tiles.
Yes. Oh, where did he go?
Okay, player finished walking at 5041. Oh, did I not? No, sequence. I have the breakpoint. .383. We are not hitting the branch.
No?
Yeah, I'm not
that
sure why I'm not
pasting
hitting this
to?
other breakpoint. Oh, I missed some chat messages from YouTube because of some debugging stuff I had up. Looks like that was from a few minutes ago. People were asking, is this live? Yeah, it is.
Just took a hot minute.
Yeah, it looks like folks have wandered off. But
Oh
that's...
no, we're sorry, folks.
No, it's fine.
We let you down.
But yeah, for the VOD now, I guess it is live, or it was live.
It still is. Currently.
Okay, we're definitely hitting this. We're just not hitting inside of the statement. Oh, there we go. Interesting. Alright, let's give that another shot. Okay, move. And then that's the enemy. So at least consistently it looks like we made the enemy's movement speed faster than the player, so they always finish first. And then the player is finishing 7,024 and we are finishing 7,025. So there is still a 1 frame delay between the animation being over and us hitting this coroutine. So because there's a frame, that means the other coroutine has to be activating first. But that can't be consistent, I don't think, because we're seeing it sometimes look smooth and sometimes not look smooth. Enemy, the player, 7,226, 27. Okay. So I need to find a way to have it so that if we have both movements happening simultaneously, that this branch needs to have its weight activate instantly. This might require knowledge about coroutines that I am not familiar with.
What's a coroutine?
Coroutine is essentially a chunk of code that is executing non-linearly. Like, it's hard to like I understand what it does, but if you were to ask me for a technical definition, I'm gonna get it wrong.
Pop quiz.
But because I'm firing off multiple coroutines, they're not guaranteed, I don't think, to be executing in a specific order.
Let's do something. Question mark spooky. Low leaves. Why did I just copy and paste a dot? I could just draw a dot. No, I can't. I'm currently locked in a brush.
I'm gonna switch back to your point of view while I'm doing some thinking.
Oh, I don't have much of a point of view right now. I'm creating little stamps.
There's more little leaf patterns.
Just little leaf patterns, yeah. I just grab my favorites from these are just mirrored, so it's super easy for me. I just made little clusters. Copy, go onto my other screen, paste, Control B. Now I have a little leaf. I'm just gonna make it the color I want. Well, bam. And that's just to break up the textures here, because if you look, during game, you don't really see the patterns pop out at you too much. It almost is comforting to the eye and it fades into the distance. But a little variation is good. I wouldn't want too much, but it helps because these are all fundamentally the same shapes, just their patterns change. So they're still relaxing to the eye to look at. And now I'm just breaking up some of the dark, going back in there with a light green stamp and just moving, kind of making the leaves kind of look in conjunction to each other. A little bit messy, like the forest floor should. Breaking up any big plotches. Yeah. Like, what has that been? That's been 10 minutes? No. Wow, has it already been that much time? Time flies when you're having fun with stamps. What am I gonna do for the other stamp here? Oops. I'm gonna do a dark stamp for this one.
Okay. I am not sure how to... I might have to come back to this bug. At least I've proven to myself what's happening. I'm gonna ask that we not ask people where they're from or about personal information in chat.
Naughty chat. Whoops.
I don't mind chatting, but like...
What did I just do? I turned on consecutive somehow.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I'm lost on trying to fix this one because it's kind of outside my wheelhouse because it's two coroutines that are both running, but I need them to activate their wait untils simultaneously or on the same frame. I'm just not sure how to set that up. And I think I need a yield wait until here because there has to be some sort of condition blocking this. Like there has to be something that says, okay, wait until these things are done.
Oh. Whoops.
Yeah, I can't think of a way of getting there faster. Okay, I'm gonna hold on this. I think I might have to do some research off camera. So I think I have improved it though. Just swapping the order of these two chunks of code has made it a little more fluid, but it's still a bit choppy. So maybe we took it down from like a 2-frame delay to like a 1-frame delay. When there's an enemy on the screen. Yeah, there's still occasionally an animation pop, but it is not as bad. And it definitely feels like we're able to move more cleanly. We are using Unity for game development. So we are doing mostly C#, or I guess all C#, because that's what Unity works on for its scripting language. I guess that's fair. It's technically C# script, I think is what Unity uses. Maybe it's just using a C#. It's been a while. I don't quite remember how that works anymore. Or what the difference in nuance between the two is.
One note on stamps that I think is really, really cool is it includes all colors. It's not just a single color. So if you have a really interesting object, like this, not an interesting rock, but I put the shadows on ahead of time, and I can stamp it with all the work already done. So if you have, like, for example, want to do an army of goblins, you can just make a stamp of your goblin and just put him in the background, and you can have hundreds of them within seconds. So I think that's really cool. Art hack.
You're just adding a bunch of little rocks.
Yeah, they're cute. Just little rocks. Kind of like the old one. I'm going to do a few textures of them.
That's cool. How do you use Python for... Oh, that was the question I was going to ask. Rendering with, I assume, Blender. Interesting.
Ooh. Is this one? Oh, M.
The mace is not showing. In our last stream, when we set this up, we had set up a second ability that could be found here. And that is not...
It's not working?
It's not appearing. I'm going to try and fix that next. I think it's just going to be a fair amount of bugs today. Oh, I think it's because I have this mace pickup complete flag set up in the debug. I think that's all that is. Okay.
This is right by the water, the center part, right? Should maybe we have reeds or something near the floor tile next to it? What's a good, like, on the ground accent I can do if it's next to the water?
Well, what I would suggest is bringing it into Unity at this point and kind of take a look at how it's looking, and then maybe adjust based off of what you're seeing when it's actually in engine.
This is true. Okay. Let me just plop it in engine up here and I'll bring that down. Which floor was this? F7.
Well, that's interesting. I didn't...
Oh, good. It was a waterfall floor. I didn't even realize that.
Oh, do you have it up on your other monitor?
Yeah, let me just bring it down here. Oh, that did not quite line up properly. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Let me go full screen.
No, not yet. Don't full screen me. I'm broken.
Oh, you need to maximize. Yeah, I see.
I'm broken. Don't look at me. Ooh. F7. I already have that here. Now, you want to walk everybody through how to do the flooring again? Because it's just... You made this really cool tool.
Well, no,
My sprite's in the way. No one
yeah,
can see
you're
it.
just gonna run your woods, and if you do that, you should generate the floor.
Emphasis on should.
And then if you just hit play, it should be in scene.
Right, because it's not on the You have to start the game to actually see it.
Yeah. Everything you see without the game being played is essentially just tutorial-y type stuff. If you want, also, you can turn on a debug to auto-generate everything, too.
Oh, yeah, but I like the exploration. Okay, so you have the waterfall here, so I should put more rocks here. I'm also, the second thing I'm going to do is actually fix this wall, because this is driving me bonkers.
Oh, with the missing pixels in it?
The missing pixels, and, like, this is water all the way through. You asked for a cliffside that is, you know, would be effective.
100%. So yeah, fixing that wall to not have missing pixels, as well as to add some, like, a different tile texture for, like, repeating walls would be helpful there.
I'll also need to figure out a way to do the water fountains end. I don't know if there's
like the edge of the tile?
geographical term for where the waterfall cascades down to the water below.
I think those would be props. Animated
No, it's
props.
not called a prop in geological terms.
No, but in terms of our engine, I think
Yes.
it would be a prop.
It would be a prop in the tile in front of it to give it depth. Because right now we have it on the far tile, right? So would the waterfall cascade or like water explosion be the tile ahead to give it some depth? Or should it all be flat as a billboard? This is the question. Testing it would be the answer.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you on that last part.
Oh, it's okay.
What did you say?
I'm mostly externalizing how am I going to build the waterfall to look at the nicest. Because right now it's one billboard, and I feel like it needs to be layered. It needs to be two that are one front, one back.
I agree with that. Yeah, I think so. I think that could be broken up into many, honestly.
And then this should be a bridge.
Yeah, I mean, you could try building that as a floor. It like draw on the bridge, but that might need to be.
I would love to try and draw a bridge.
Yeah, so you could try drawing that as a bridge. I think there is a general question of like, what is the side of a tile? Because we kind of have this generic green that is really old.
I totally agree with you. I don't know what to do with the side tiles. I feel like it should be almost color pick whatever on top and just go down as like just something the concept right now. I don't know. Can they just like take the 6 pixels out from the top and just copy it?
Sadly, no. I mean, we could try and figure out a way of doing that, but it's going to be. I get where you're coming from. Your idea is that if we had the excess that runs over the edge just kind of wrapped down along the bottom, it would just allow us to draw in the space.
Like origami style, yes.
Yeah. I don't think it would work that
It wouldn't
easily.
look good. I say it out loud. I'm like, I don't want leaves going down the
Well,
edge.
it's also partly because of like the pinching of the center corners. I think it would look weird, like which pixels it's going to be using to do that wrap. Yeah, I think we might need to just come up with like a couple of different floor tile options, like side pieces, and we can assign which floor piece it uses, aka which side panel piece.
Yeah.
I do think it does need that edge though.
It definitely does. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I feel like that's a whole other adventure on its own, doing those side tiles.
Yeah, I agree. Like there is something there that we should look at, but
I feel like I need to do some props, not floor tile, but props on the side here to really represent like, hey, maybe some cattails or something like this is the water's edge in the meantime.
yeah, I mean, you could try some prop stuff today if you want, but
Yeah.
honestly, the bridge would be the first thing I would try.
I think the bridge would be fun.
And then there's 2 in that section, technically speaking. One there.
Oh,
and
one here?
One over there. You could do 2 different bridges.
Oh man, and they're the same size too. I can make a stamp.
Yeah. But that could just try being drawn onto the floor. And then, yeah, maybe off stream we can have a conversation about how we want to do some tooling and tech for the side of the floors. I could maybe take a look at that today on stream, but it wasn't on my agenda. But
No, nor was it on mine, so that's okay. This is why we always played the game. You never know.
Yeah, no, playing the game definitely finds more work all the time. Sorry, getting back to chat. I'm not really familiar with any Python coding at all. I really think of Python more as a like file management language, less so than for like a game engine. I'm sure it's been done. I'm just not super familiar with it. In my career, I haven't really run into that. That approach very often. Drixy, one thing I want to call out on your art as well is that
Please.
the edge where the waterfall is,
Yes.
you've drawn in some floor there, but technically that's not being used at this time.
No, I'm gonna get.
Well,
Well, if it's not being used, then shenanigans.
I would just leave it, because I think what I might want to do is have that appear above the edge of those cliffs.
Oh, okay.
I think that section may end up being like the top, but I need to look into that a little bit as well. Again, these aren't bad things for me to maybe look into today. I was just finishing up. I can switch back over to my perspective, but I just did a full run where I ended up getting I ended up fixing it so that I ended up getting the bash ability. So I can do that attack as well now, which I guess
Very
is
nice.
worse.
Okay.
But I'm mostly just trying to see what happens when we die, because I was working on some skill tree stuff, and I'm curious if some of that is functional now. I was
Sure,
doing
I'm
a
not
bit
doing
of work.
anything right now on here. I'm just trying to pull up some references for Bridgie Bridges.
Okay, I'll go back to full perspective on mine.
Thank you.
I do want you to be in the background there, so this will be work. But yeah, so I was trying to play with... Yeah, and this isn't working. I was trying to play around with removing 2 of the nodes from our skill tree system.
I think that is a perfect, just simple bridge I have found. Okay.
And I think that the problem is that by removing it, it completely broke our navigation between these. Okay, I'm going to try building this from scratch, I think.
Perfect.
Or maybe...
Oh.
Let me bring up the skill menu, and I'm going to see what's going on with that. I think that's the next bug I want to look at, because I want to get to the point where we can start upgrading some skill points and doing a second run where we're stronger.
Yeah.
And seeing how that's feeling. But so what I did was, originally we had this with a... I'll load the template. We had this...
I'm going to do creepy colors.
like 2 pieces here, and these navigate by going to specific tiles. So this one goes down to tile 3, which is this one, and this one goes up to tile 0 and down to tile 6, which is this one. But I think when we set this up to flag the 0 and 6 nodes for deletion, which I did off camera a little while ago, I don't think that I built anything that re-hooks up the order. So this still goes... this one is still going up to index 0, which is technically this one now. Yeah, so I need to rebuild the indices. Because, yeah, now the indices are also off. This is indice 1. So there is no indice 0. Oh.
Those, I think, are too small.
We do have a Discord server. Information should be in the description.
That's where I'm
Not-
creeping for text. I can't see YouTube because I don't have enough screens. You can never have enough screens.
Yeah, but no, the Discord is pretty quiet nowadays. There's not a lot that goes on in there, but it's a good place to keep track
there, though?
of stream information when I stream. Mostly, we've been consistent on Sundays, but I want to try and get in more random streams here and there, but I have not necessarily had the time. But Sundays have been pretty good with the consistency. At least keeps us moving forward at all times.
Question, Tohi.
What's up?
Empty space, negative space on these tiles. If I
Yeah.
delete the floor, will it show the water tile below? Can we do that? Are we stacking? Because
No, so
No.
this will only over-render over the floor.
okay, I'm just trying to think of how I can make these look like floorboards without, like, you know, having them crazy. Because I kind of wanted to do like that, so you have an opening, so you can see the water between. But if you can't,
You could try it. I don't
Yeah.
believe that that'll work, but if you make them transparent, like actually delete,
Yeah.
it might show as water. I'm not entirely
is
sure.
there
though.
water below already though?
It's technically it's not a below thing, but there is 2 textures layered on top of each other.
Okay.
So I think if it doesn't find any pixels, it will use the water texture that's on the layer below. But I haven't tested that in a while, so
That would be an interesting, let's try it out kind of thing.
yeah, I would just make some of it empty and see what happens. But you will have the floor next to it though. Still, you know what I mean. You will still have the edge tile.
Oh,
So but it's still worth trying.
this
Are
is
you
where
making-
the edge tile will be really, really handy too.
Are you making it green right now?
No, I have 2 layers and I deleted
Oh.
1 layer at a time. Something like that. I won't play with that a little bit.
Yeah. See how that imports. Okay. So my question is, do these indices actually get used, or is it actually checking the... Like, when it goes between these, does it actually care about these indice values? Like, what is this used for? So we have a node which sets its indice and it sets its up, down, left, right information. And then these get used for navigation, I believe. I'm not seeing where that's being used though. Yeah, in terms of pixel layers, we have essentially our floor tiles have two different textures. There's like a water texture and then like a floor texture. And the thing that Drixie's drawing on is like isometric. And then I write...
Magic. You write magic.
Yeah, I mean, I can show it on my screen.
Do it.
We do some...
It's really cool.
We do a bit of craziness because what Drixie does when she brings it in as a work in progress texture, essentially that texture comes in something like, let's look at an old example from the forest, TO1 or TO2. Let's do TO2. So TO2 comes in and that looks like this. This is what Drixie's drawing. But when Drixie actually draws that, I convert that via a tool that she's running to make this, which looks crazy, but this then gets mapped to every single tile, and those tiles are viewed by the camera in an isometric perspective. So when we actually render out the information for each pixel, I've essentially figured out exactly how the rasterizer is picking each pixel, and it's only grabbing those diagonal pieces. So if I go to TO2 and hit play, we can see that everything here is rendering exactly like the work in progress version. But if we actually go into the scene view and look, it's actually just like a series of like diagonal strips. But just because of all of our settings, it actually gets reconverted back to look exactly like the original image that Drixie drew. But in reality, in 3D space, it's actually a series of like empty spaces in between, with just only the pixels every so often.
It's
and then
magic.
The water texture, I think, is not scaled correctly right now because it is fitting in like too small. Like the water should be overlapped in the exact same spot. So I think there is a problem with the water tech because I haven't looked at that in a long time.
We have not.
I think there is an issue.
Oh, that's way too purple. Oh goodness, that is some purple.
If I go back to the room you're working on, man, there's so many small bugs that I need to work on. When we label it as a water tile, do I change the way that I tile it somehow? Yeah, because this water shows up okay. Are those big pixels? They are, so it's only if it's a floor tile the water texture doesn't get used correctly. I probably did this on purpose for some reason, or maybe I'm just not setting something. This does imply to me, Drixie, that what you're doing with the transparency is probably not going to work though.
Womp.
But it should be something I can fix.
Womp womp.
Oh, is it just this? Oh, it is. It's because I don't have I have an optimization setup that I don't animate the tile because I'm basically flipping through several different images, 16 specifically, a 4x4 sprite sheet of the water so that the water has motion to it.
Whoops.
But I don't turn that on if it's a floor tile because you're not going to see it. And
okay.
What you're doing right now won't work, I don't think, or it won't show up with the edge of the... Oh wow, that looks really cool though.
Woo! I messed up my sin way. Ropes go crazy. It's haunted.
I didn't even know you could do that with Asebright.
What? Yeah, no, it's a little annoying. I don't like this tool very often, but like for rope bridges, it's kind of perfect.
I do want to call out that won't render, right? Because that you're only drawing the stuff that's going to be flat on the floor, so those would need to be props.
Concepting, Tohi.
Okay, well, concepting on the floor tile, which isn't gonna... But I appreciate
No,
it.
you are totally right. I got a little carried away, as I do. But this is why it's on a different layer. It's okay.
So
Layer, folks. Layers.
Okay. So
For
then,
life.
So then where does this get toggled on and off? Enabled. Yeah, if it's not a pit tile. Yeah,
Okay.
Performant hack. So I can come over and I can help you turn this performance hack off for the time being, so you can at least see what that looks like.
I'll just try and fake it with some good shadowing.
Either that, or I come up with another type of tile, which is like bridge, which allows you to see the water and still toggles it on. So if it's not pit or bridge, then it turns off. But you kind of want one, like you want a different floor. That's the other thing, is can I make a different floor piece? When we go to the board that generates all of these tiles, it just has like a base floor that it loads, right? That's the topmost one, tile view preview. Tile view prefab. Yeah, and we just instantiate this one prefab tile. I think what you're asking for is the ability for us to customize which prefab tile we use.
Maybe? I don't know. I just say words and you figure it out, and I appreciate that about you.
Which one am I actually using? There's a couple of different 3D geometries. Floor, half step, two face. Okay.
Copy and paste, copy and paste. Whoops.
So this is a Blender file
Ah.
that I've imported in. So I could make a copy of this that doesn't have the side pieces for you, so it would just be essentially a decal.
Okay. Oh, we were talking about decals earlier because you wanted me to do a little blood splat for that Adventure 001.
Yeah, I think it all comes back to the decal
Our
stuff.
first victim of the night.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I like how that... Oh, happy little accident. Okay, cool. Love that.
Okay,
Ooh.
so here's the thing.
Talk to me.
I think the problem might be that you're doing this on the floor.
Oh, 100%.
Because what we could do is the bridge tiles you're making, if we just made these water tiles instead, so that they are actually just going to render correctly as water, then we could just use your bridge tiles as props that could just render over top of those water tiles.
Is that easy?
It just comes back to the decal problem of like, we need to figure out how to make decals.
Like,
so that
what even is a decal?
Well, so a decal is a prop that's laid flat, essentially.
Yes.
So like if I come in here and I do a decal option and I choose
Capital matter. Okay. There you go.
like still water
Yeah.
or water floor? No, all of these are busted. Fade. So this is like a fade texture we put on the edge of the world when the character is like walking out. We have like a little fade. But if I put this fade here, it's like over top of the water, and a decal is essentially just one of these textures that's laid flat, opposed to like a regular prop that is like a billboard, or like these ones which are set up as walls, which just means that they render straight up and down instead of having like a angle towards the camera, essentially.
Gotcha.
But the problem is our decals are right now kind of a pain to make, because you have to bring them into the floor folder and run the like processor to generate them.
Okay. Tangent, if I may.
Yeah.
The bridge is on. It looks great. I'm walking on the rope right now, so slackline hero right here. Second game, gonna be Drixy's running. All about
Yeah.
slacklining. Oh, I can't see what they're saying underneath there. What? Can you read that for me? My phone is not showing me what the YouTube is saying.
Instead of ropes, make river ages, which I'm not quite sure what you mean by that.
Okay, so I'm not crazy. Maybe a little crazy. He's standing on the poles too. Like it is a floor tile. It is totally not appropriate. It was just for me to throw out the concept. Plus the fact the rope on this side, or like the holder, is completely destroyed because that is a water tile and not a floor tile. However,
Yeah.
I still like this. I like the bridge itself. I'm gonna get rid of the ropes and the billers, but like this is a great first idea.
Yeah.
I actually like the side tiles, to be honest with you. If we can change that design for these ones, if it's like, if bridge, then tile version 3.0 or whatever, then that will work.
But see, what I'm saying is we don't necessarily have to have those side tiles. We could just have it be a flat decal for the bridge. And then you could see the water underneath it, but I guess you want the depth.
I want the depth, yeah. So I
Yeah.
think one thing or another, we can try your way first if it's easiest. But in the end, we will need to be designing these according to where they are in the world. And I feel like it'll be really cool to have like some bridge variants. Anyway.
No. I'm trying to think it through.
Oh, yeah.
What you're asking, there's a couple of different ways to achieve what you're asking for, and I don't know which way is the right way right now.
No, there's no right and wrong. It's just doing it.
No, there's right and wrong ways to do things.
I don't like that.
Because yeah, you're saying you want the side pieces, but the side pieces could also be props. They don't have to be floor pieces.
Yes. These can absolutely. I have these already, actually, as props.
What, the ropes?
I have bridge ropes.
Yeah, for sure. That's not even what I'm talking about, though.
Oh.
I'm talking about the part that was showing next to the river, the underneath the bridge part.
Pardon.
That could be a wall prop.
Yes, I believe you are right. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So I think.
What are we thinking?
I think I need to solve the decal problem. All right. I'm gonna switch over to my point of view.
Yes, I've made more work for you, Tohi. I'm so sorry.
No, it's work I have to do regardless. So, okay, so I can come into here. I can select a decal. I can show this fade one. This is one that we use for like the exiting of a room. Essentially, it just has like a slight transparency that creates like a fade at the edge of the world. In order to make that has to go into our floor section. It's not even oh, I don't have them set up here. Oh, that's a different problem. But I've been forgetting to actually set up the fades.
Oh no.
Yeah. But if I was to move this over here...
Why are you broken? Please stop breaking. There we go. Okay.
We can see that it has like this fade effect. But in order to make this, it requires like some custom setup, which I'm not happy about. So I'm going to need to find a way to fix that.
I don't want these to be perfect. I want them to look a little distressed. It's had a hard day. It's a hard working bridge.
What are you rambling about?
Excuse me, it's not rambling, it's empathizing with my bridge. It's here in these woods, and there's monsters everywhere, and it's doing its best, but it's having a real hard day, and I want it to look a little distressed. Like, it just needs a cup of tea and a good book. Because bridges have emotions.
Cool, good talk. Okay, so the way... Room processor. So I need to rewrite this script. Oh, right. The reason this is a pain is because this is a... The way that I make these crazy pixelized textures is using a console app that I wrote a long time ago. It's not actually in Unity. It's using like some console app code. And I'm getting Unity to essentially create an instance of that console app and then run it, which gives us a lot less flexibility than I would normally have. And this takes in some sort of property.
Have all the
Where
pixels
is this
the same.
coming from? In here. Okay. So this is a sprite processor interface, which is essentially something that runs my console app with a series of parameters associated with it. And instead of being able to run just on the dungeon folder, I need to be able to run this on the prop system as well.
Throw some leaves on it.
Okay, I
Or
need a
just
new
love
version
leaves.
of this class. That's what I need. ISO to 3D. And I need to do an ISO to 3D props. This one will not need to do any of the addressable setting stuff. And it needs to operate on the prop file paths, which we can check the what is it called? Create prop?
Lovely. Bridge. Paste. Flip. And it's just that easy. Now we have 2 bridges.
I'm gonna need you to rebuild that in a bit, but I've got to build you some code first.
Yeah, no worries.
This folder path. I need...
This does not sit nicely. Why?
I need to run this stuff on this folder path.
It looks great. And to Mohammed's point in YouTube, pixel art can be more building than it is drawing. You can take a silhouette or the main shape and carve it with your shading instead of like drawing it like traditional art. It's one of the tips I've gotten through many years of it. If I just want to do something simple, I just kind of blob it out and then design where it is from there, and thus like carving it like a statue. If you do struggle with pixel art, I would recommend trying that method instead of like doing the eyes, the nose, and like traditional art. Just do a blob, do shapes, find your shape, and then work your way backwards. We're going to ignore that pixel cat ever happened.
I'm not sure if I can mix formatting like this. Okay, we're gonna just make it even simpler. Content, art, dungeons, props. So we're gonna just hard code the path, I think.
Okay.
Weird that this one has assets and this one starts at infinite retries assets.
Oh my gosh. The second bridge is covered in grass because props. I kind of love that though.
Can I see?
Yeah, it's on the screen. I have it at 4 times, so it's easy to see.
You can remove those if you want, though. You can clear that.
I kind of like it. It looks very overgrown. Now, I might tone it down, but I don't hate it.
Okay.
Do bridges get grass? They should have leaves. Everything should have leaves. Okay, but I'm gonna go to that waterfall that was bothering me. So the one thing I did with these waterfalls that is generally a good rule of thumb that I forgot to do is check for empty pixels. So I drew this cool waterfall. You saw it in action already. And if you didn't look too closely, it's actually missing pixels. So whenever you're doing art that has to fill an area, do just a background layer of a vibrant color that does not match anything in your current art. And that way you can spot check. Because sometimes when you're working with only a few colors, it gets very easy to miss something. But Tallhe's pretty good about telling me if I miss something right away too. So we'll save that out.
Okay.
Oops. Don't save it with the bright color layer.
I don't think I need any post-processing because this was originally just getting the asset and setting it to have an addressable ID, but that'll be handled by the prop stuff. So I think I just need this stuff to run. The thing I'm not sure on is whether or not we have to give it a file name here. I think if we instead just leave it empty, I think it'll find all files under this folder. It's probably not a bad idea to keep it though.
Oops.
Okay, and then instead of using this room processor,
Oh, right. I gotta export this as a sprite sheet. It's been a couple minutes since I've done this.
I think I want to move all this inside of the prop system. So this sprite folder to props should do this automatically.
Where is Spyro's packed fixed size?
Question over on Twitch
Yeah.
from My Bay Lay. How long have you been developing Unity? I've been developing in Unity for close to 15 years now. Professionally, like
16,
most of that
66.
time. This particular project we've been working on for about 5 years. Realistically, it was a first project that we spent like 3 years on, and then we decided to kind of put that into the back burner and then start this other project reusing all the same tech, all the RPG elements, a lot of the art stuff, but trying to make something that would be a lot shorter and more achievable to kind of just test putting a game out into the world.
Short.
Yeah, well, I keep bloating it, but it's still shorter than the original game that we were going to do.
Well, apparently I'm going to design a slacklining game now. I'll get that one out with some jank pixel art, and it'll be 3 weeks. And it'll just be a still image.
Looks complicated. Do you have an MVP? Close, I would say. We're getting close to like a demo is what I've been trying to think of, is like that vertical slice chapter 1 demo. But it is, I don't know. I feel like it's always evolving because I'm never
That
quite
work?
happy with it
I don't
in a lot
remember.
of ways. Let me turn off some of the debug stuff. Save this and then turn off. Oh, we don't have debug spawn all turned on. I'm not sure why it's spawning all the props simultaneously right now. Did I break something?
Did I fix something?
Why is it loading all of the props instantly without me having... What did I do?
Are we in the same boat? Because like I didn't even parse the waterfall and I feel like it's fixed and I'm confused. I usually have to slice the particles, don't I? Or the billboards?
Not if you're not changing anything. If they're not animation, you don't have to worry about slicing them.
Hey! Oh, I don't like the blue up there. I still got some work to do. That blue is not... Why is that not sealed? It's the other one. Hey!
Something I've done in the last few minutes here has broken everything, and I don't know exactly what it was. Because this was working fine and we were testing and walking through the whole environment, but now it's loading all the props simultaneously.
This doesn't seem like that's what you want.
No.
No, not your vibe.
Oh, I know what I did.
Oh,
I went
come
into
back
a
here.
prefab and I turned something on that I wasn't supposed to, that's all.
Scream. Okay.
I was in here kind of talking about this setup and looking at it. When I was explaining it, I left it turned on. That's all it is.
Easy.
Easy.
Cheesy.
But yeah, so turned off the wrong thing. This needs to be turned on. This thing, the floor holder, needs to be off by default.
I need to go back.
I should attach an auto deactivator to that, but we don't really mess with that too often. It was only because I was explaining something that I put it into a bad state. But yeah, so the world generation stuff I'm pretty happy with. And like we have our cutscenes, we have combat, we have like the progression systems. It's really more content at this point. Like after like several years, or I get like 5 years of really developing a lot of features, even though the first 3 were for that other game that we were originally working on. It's really been 5 years of like feature development, and it's finally getting to the point where we can actually just like focus on just like building content to flush out the demo and to get like a chapter 1 done.
Chapter uno. Let's go.
Yeah. If I start in this room, we can pick up the very first sword and then see a bit of fighting.
Oh, can I show everybody the really cool like active editing I have going on for Unity and Sprite simultaneously? Is that visible on here? Maybe not. Maybe just don't save that. So,
1 second. I just want to hit a slime. What are you trying to show off?
Because, yes, it's showing off. It's so me. The really cool thing we have going on. So, like, if I edit something in Sprite here, like I'm going to draw this big blue scribbly heart, and you can see currently over on the Unity side, the waterfalls look normal. If I save it, bam, everything is actively changed in there. So now we have graffiti. And if I just undo it, save again, that's how I do my editing.
Yeah, I mean, my wife, you are precious.
Is that normal?
That is normal.
I think it's really cool.
You're not wrong. But you're just changing the sprite, and it is live editing in Unity, which is neat. You
just
are not
in case you guys didn't know you could live edit in Unity, you could do that. I'm helping.
No, it is helpful for you for sure, but it is not special
genius.
Cool tech that I have done. I feel
It
like
is
that's
not
what
special cool tech that you have done, but in
No.
case people didn't know they could do that for Unity, you know, the little kids out there, like me. I've only been doing this since, 4 years, 5 years now, I guess? And I'm still learning every day because I learned Blender, I learned Unity, and I learned Sprite and digital art in general. I went from ground zero to where I am today. So
100%.
little things still excite me greatly.
And no, like what you're doing is really cool. I think that it's important that to edit in Unity so you can see the actual asset in like situ, especially because of the way that we like isometric view and change, and it looks very different compared to the flat asset you're moving in. Changing in Sprite is definitely something valuable that you learned over time, because there was a period of time where you were just focusing on like making cool art and then checking it in and being like,
Do it for me.
Look, Tolly, it's good. And I went, you need to bring that into Unity and give me another opinion. And then when you would, you'd be like, oh, it doesn't look quite right. And I'm like, yeah. But so it did take you time to figure out.
You did that very nicely for me, though. And I appreciate that about you. I also found another bit of missing pixels. What was I doing when I was doing this waterfall? Like, I didn't check anything. Oh, I also made a group, not what I wanted.
I don't know if I really answered the MVP question, but we're working on it. We want to get like a chapter 1 of the game, but it is a long process. It's also worth calling out that like I work as a game developer full time. Drixy has her full-time job as well, and so like this is a hobby. It is a hobby, so it is taking us a very long time, but it's because sometimes we might go like weeks without working on it. Although I have been trying to commit every single Sunday around this time to doing a game dev stream. That way I'm always making at least some progress. We've been at that for about 4 weeks now of consistently doing Sunday streams.
It's been wonderful. You've made so much progress.
I feel like it's been very helpful because for like otherwise I do feel like I can go on like a stretch of just like not working on it for way too long and have to remember all the code.
Which is not easy.
Yeah, sometimes returning to stuff can take so much time.
Okay, Tohi, I'm having a brain fart with exporting animation files though.
What's up?
Exporting, I need to just put it in 16 by 66 for the constraints on my export sheet. Like this?
Well, it should be framed, right? It should be frames. Why do you have it all spread out as individual pieces?
Because that's what I opened up. That's what we have saved out. Was that an error?
There should be an A-sprite file that exists in the same spot. You cannot modify it like this.
Okay.
You need to find the A-sprite file, sadly.
All right. Well, let's see if I saved it.
You could rebuild it from this, but you would have to break it out into each individual frame and then re-tag it again in the same way.
Yeah, I don't have the A-sprite file in the folder.
Let me do a quick look around to see if I can find it for you.
I would really appreciate that.
And I will get to the questions in a moment in Twitch chat, if you can bear with me.
Sorry, I'm taking his time.
So if I look for this...
It's just JSONs and metas.
There should be an A-sprite file. If there's not...
I mean, it's like 6 layers. It's not the worst. And this is, you know, what I like to nickname idiot tags for when I need to remember things.
I don't think I would use those words.
No?
No.
Okay. Silly tags.
Where...
Sprites, Forest, and in Props Waterfall. Words where I'm currently looking anyway.
You are correct. There is no A-sprite file for this. So I'm going to switch off of your computer completely.
Yeah.
And I would ask you to dig around and see if you can track that down.
I'm just going to save it out as an A-sprite file. I'm just going to separate layer it.
You are going to run into a bit of difficulty.
Will I? Okay.
Yeah, I would suggest going and searching for that file, because you should have that A-sprite file that you built originally. It wasn't saved in the right folder, which is unfortunate, but like it should be somewhere, unless you made all of that work and then you only saved it as PNG.
I mean, I've done it before.
If you need help recreating the A-sprite file, I can help with that though.
I appreciate.
But I'll let you try on your own for a little bit, if that's okay.
Yeah, no, of course. That's what I prefer.
Okay. Questions. I have a great question. If I wanted to do a solo game dev project purely for portfolio and self-enjoyment, not for profit, what game dev style documentation should I create? I say that because in a commercial team-based environment, obviously documentation and business workflow is going to be very different. That's a hard question.
You want something to express that you have all avenues of knowledge, right?
Yeah, well, so here's the thing: is I've never really worked with a official like GDD game design document. Most of the time when we've done prototyping stuff, we just build things in the companies I've worked for. Oftentimes we come up with like more of a pitch, and sometimes there's a GDD, but most of the time when I've come onto projects, they're already past a lot of those stages, and like the design work I have to do is more building within the constraints of the game that's already been built. And even for this game, I didn't really build a proper design doc. I just knew I wanted to build an RPG and like started building features more so than a game, which I do think is part of the problem why we're still at this for so long, is that I didn't come up with a concrete pitch as much as like, here's a bunch of cool features that I believe will fit together in a way that is interesting and different from anything I've ever seen before. And that's what excites me, is the idea of trying to find something that doesn't fit into an existing mold. And yeah, the very agile approach. So I will say that we did use Trello or Hack and Plan or whatever kind of task tracking software was like an early part of the process, was like writing a lot of stuff down. That was helpful in terms of like the agile approach. For trying to keep track of all the things we wanted to do, but it just shifted so much. So I don't have a great answer. And yeah, in terms of like a game dev style document, it really depends on the type of project you're building too. Like I've seen so many different variations, so it's hard to like give a specific set of information for that. Yeah, I guess you could say the best advice is to jump in and get dirty. I go back to this analogy with Drixy all the time, which is, I don't know where I heard this. I don't know the reference.
Is it the pots?
It's the pots.
It's
is
the
that
pots.
like oftentimes if you give what it's like an antidote or antidote? No, it's a little story that like if you give 2 pottery classes the assignment of like make the best pot and you'll be graded on the best pot that you can craft, or give the assignment of whoever makes the most pots, or you'll be graded on how many pots you make, you'll find that the class that was assigned to make as many pots as possible will often end up with the best pots, and even better than the people who were trying to make the best pot for their grade. So it's just this like idea of like, if you just make, you'll get better at making faster than if you try and strive for perfection.
Anything you want to get good at will take 10,000 hours as a base. Just practice. Quantity over quality for the first bit, and then you can focus.
We are using PNG files for our art files, mostly because we're trying to do as little art loss on Drixy's art as possible.
No losing my art, please.
Yeah, like what Drixy draws, I want to display with no compression, and the PNGs have been helpful for that. If you want to jump in with learning, the Liquid Fire blogs
They're so good.
Yeah, very helpful for a couple of different types of game projects. For Unity specifically, it was one of the initial starting points for some of the RPG stuff that the engine has, and some of the code still remains somewhat similar, but a lot of it has deviated pretty heavily. But those tutorials are really good for like getting your head wrapped around like some of the stuff, and honestly does a much better job with those blog posts of explaining a lot of like concepts way better than I could ever do in a video format. Or in written word, honestly, better in every regard. So Liquid Fire blogs is a really good resource if you're trying to learn.
Hashtag not sponsored.
No, I like to call it out because it is one of the like tutorials that really made me go, oh, there's so much more I can do in some regards, I guess.
Yes.
I don't know. It just, I like to call it out. What is happening?
Okay, so...
There was a weird flash there.
Oh, no.
What's up?
I just did the thingamabob. I'm going to save it out as an A sprite, but I have it as framework again, 6 frames, snipped it into one section. That's correct?
You're going to need to give it a tag in order for my import
Was it idle?
system. It should be anim_1, capital A. Anim, not anime.
That's a shame.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, Anim.
And then you should be able to export that. So file, export.
Okay, first. The end. Let me save it as an A-spray first. Because I don't want to do that again.
Okay.
Whoops, doing that thing. Yeah. Okay. And
Okay.
Export spreadsheet.
Yes.
Oh, that didn't. Why? None? That looks better.
I haven't looked at the website in a long time, so Godot may be used. I'm not entirely sure. If you're saying so, I haven't checked in a long time. But very, very helpful tutorials.
For liquid fire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you figure out your stuff?
I believe so. I'm gonna jump into scene here and see if I made it work, and if it didn't, I'll cry for help.
Okay.
As per... Oh, gosh. My waterfall is raving. I think I missed something. It doesn't matter how many times I do this, it's always gonna be something. I'm just like, please help me. I missed a frame?
That seems unlikely.
Why is there some... Oh, no, like... Okay, it's... There's a section on top there that's supposed to be on the bottom as well, so I didn't even export it properly.
Okay, let's...
That's... You know what? I could just call this for now, and I could just go back to something simple. Tohi.
Well, okay, so go back to your file.
Hilarious. Okay,
file
I'm here.
export.
File export.
Export as sprite sheet, yeah.
Yeah. It's packed.
It is
Constraints
packed.
are none.
Mm-hmm.
It looks fine there. It's
Did
not...
you set it to array?
Oh, I did not set it to array. Talk to me. Okay, what's the difference between array and hash, please?
It's just the file formatting on how it converts the data of what's happening into a JSON, and my file only accepts the array variation.
Okay.
It's just a file type format, essentially.
Amazing. That might hopefully be it. Okay, I'm trying to get off screen instead of me mashing it out. It is... Oh, I have to export, right? Or sprite folder the props.
Yeah.
And this would be... Oh, which file is this?
Okay, I'm trying to get to...
I'm sorry. Hashtag not sorry.
I'm trying to get to setting up
Forest.
the prop stuff. Okay, so this isoprop gets generated here. Editor window.
Oh, this is the one where I gotta do the extra step. I remember this. Maybe.
This is done so differently from how we would do it over here. Yeah, I might need to do research on this as well. There's a couple of different bugs today that I'm running into that are not straightforward, and I might have to do some research in order to figure out. Because essentially what I want to do is I want to take this setup and build it into the generation of the props. So we have this create prop folder, which parses the folders, and then in here processes the sprite directories, which does this default generation on all the files. So it tries to find the sprite, so somewhere like here, I want to do essentially the same type of sprite processor that I'm doing here. But I want to do this actually like up a level. Because I want to do this when we're processing the directories. So when we process the sprite directory in here, before that, we want to actually process any decals and convert them. So how did I run this normally? I do
Cannot deserialize.
process, post-process.
Do this. Then do that. And here. I think populate. Alright, let's see if I got this. Money's on not. Waterfall? It's gone! I killed it! It's dead!
It's just gone completely now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ay. That's, yeah, okay.
Let's figure it out. Let's figure out what's going on.
I'm taking you away from your current task.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
We can try and figure out what's going on with the prop stuff. So you're generating this prop, but let's start by looking at the JSON file.
Okay.
So if you go to the project folder and then go find where this sprite file is being saved to.
Forest. Anim props. Waterfall.
So this is the prop or the prefab section. You want to go down a couple levels to the sprite section.
Oh.
So the right spot, you had the right folder open, so you just want to minimize the prefab section up a level.
Prefabs?
And then go into the sprite section. Then forest, anim props, and then waterfall, it looks like.
Waterfall.
Okay, then double click on whichever one you're actually working on, because you have a couple different ones here. Are you sure you're working on the correct one?
This is actually a good question. I am working on L inner waterfall 66.
Okay, so go down a little bit.
66.
So that one there, double click on the text file, the one above that.
Womp womp.
Womp womp. That sprite looks correct. It's been sliced, so it's sliced correctly.
Yeah.
Actually, let's go up and look at the actual animations. So go into that thing. Yeah. Go into there, double click on that. It should open up the animator window. Click on idle. And then go to an inspector, if you can find one.
Yo.
And double click on that motion. The very top variable there with the little blue triangle. So
guy?
not that far up. Down a little bit.
This guy.
Yeah, double click on that one. Double click?
Yeah, it popped up in the other window. It says no animations available.
Okay, do it again. Drag this in the tab, so grab the animation tab on the far left. Drag that into where hierarchy and animator, that section. Drop that in there. No, other side.
Other side?
Yeah, drop it in there. And then double click on that again.
There we
Perfect.
go.
Now open up the sprites. In that section in animation, there is a timeline. On the left of that timeline, there is scale and sprite. Down a bit.
There.
Open up the sprite section.
Okay.
So it is not pointing at any sprites currently.
Fascinating.
So the problem is that it has reset this up, but it has not actually assigned the sprites correctly.
Okay. How do we assign said sprite?
So try running the processor again.
This guy? No, that's room, so we want this guy.
Yeah.
Create and slice anim?
Yeah. If you can do that one.
So this will be my third run of it.
That's fine. But
I'm
can
just
you go
letting
to
you know.
console now?
Console.
That's all audio effect problems, which
Yeah.
are fine. Can you clear this and run it again?
Great. No errors?
Can you open up on the left, there's 87, yeah, thank you.
Does it get to the bottom?
It looks like it has run through and set up a prop for every single one of these.
Do
So
we
that
see
all
waterfall?
looks to be fine. And the waterfall's there.
Yeah, it's here. 66L waterfall, 66L. Oh, yeah, there it is. 66L inner waterfall.
Yeah, so it looks like it's run correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Go back to the controller in the animator tab.
Control animator tab.
Click on the idle again.
Idle.
This should not be called idle. This should be anim 1.
How do I just rename this? Or is it idle?
Can you go to the other ones? Go to the right one. Double click on that one.
It's idle.
Go to the one below the controller. Go down to the middle, where the little like squares are connected, basically. Up
These
to
guys?
those ones. Yeah, double click on that. That's the motion controller.
Idle.
It is idle. Okay, so maybe it's named incorrectly then. Maybe
So
it's
I
not
just save
anim
it as
1.
idle?
Where'd
another
your
one.
ASprite file go?
There you
Back
go.
here. So maybe this is supposed to be idle, not anim 1.
So just idle.
You do need to get that naming exactly correct, though.
I will.
I think it is correct. It's just hard with me looking through OBS at your screen.
Sorry.
I can't see without the message.
IDLA, IDLA. Yeah, that is correct.
Okay,
And I'll
so
try exporting again.
that.
And pass.
Anim 1 should have worked as well, but I'm a little surprised. But let's try this.
We'll find out.
Oh, where is it exporting to? Is it
Oh.
exporting to the right location? So go back to here, File Export. Then click on each of these.
Those look correct.
Okay.
Forest and props waterfall.
Yep.
Yep.
So yeah, export all that. Then go back into Unity and run the processor again.
Let's do it. Okay, processor. 4 and 4, great props. Slice, because animation. Did it work? I think so. And we hit go.
I would have double checked the animation to see if it was hooked up, but you can do it this way too.
I like the mystery.
No, it's still not rendering. Okay.
Fascinating. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not.
still
It's not pointing.
there. Okay.
Games are bugs.
I'm gonna head over there for a second.
Okay. You get to talk on my VTuber.
You have multiple layers?
No.
It's just called layer 2. Okay. That shouldn't be a problem. Frame 0 to 5.
Yeah.
Idle. Okay. Then
Direction
we're going to cross
forward.
compare this to the one that was working or is working,
Yep.
which is this one here.
Idle. Idle.
That all seems fine.
I don't know. Is this an off-screen bug?
It's not actually regenerating it.
Oh.
Something about the file naming is it's upset about.
Okay.
I don't know why. It should. So the way the system works is that it should find a PNG file with this name, and then it should look for a JSON file in the same folder with the same name, and then use those in order to generate. It's doing the slicing because it is sliced. The fact that there is all these different pieces built up in there means that the slice part of the slice and anim is working.
Okay.
But the anim part isn't working because it's not generating the folder or the controller or the anim. So something about it is failing, but you're not seeing any errors except when you play. There we go. That's what we were looking for before. Is that even related to what we're looking for? I don't know.
Something about JSON array, so...
Yeah, it's
But
failing.
I have it as an array now.
For the right one.
Oh.
Did you work on the right one at all?
Right outer waterfall? I think so. Why would it break my left one though? Right outer? Right there. Yeah, because I had empty spaces on there.
Did you export this one?
I didn't export it correctly. I didn't have any issues with it though.
They look identical in terms of the formatting.
And this is why I told he gets nothing done.
That's not fair.
I mean, I'm still learning.
The problem is that these tools that I'm building you are not strong enough to uphold or to hold up to any kind of edge cases. I've built them to work in one specific way, and if you don't know exactly how they work, aka you built them like me, you can run into weird edge cases, ones that I did not account for. So the tools are not robust, they're not stable, they're not strong. So this is not on you. Please do not feel that. This is a requirement to improve the setup. So the JSON serialization cannot deserialize the JSON object. Specifically asprite.frame, because the type requires a JSON array. To fix this, change the JSON to a JSON array. So it is complaining about this data. Can I take a look at the grass one? No, all of these look identical. And the one it's complaining about looks like the same JSON format. Unless this is in a different folder, somewhere completely different.
Oh.
If you exported this to a different folder somewhere, we could be running into this problem. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm not sure when this broke.
Yeah, we haven't played the waterfall for a while.
This should be a straightforward thing to figure out. If we open up source tree.
Ah, source tree.
Once that's open, let me know.
It is. History? Nope.
That looks busted.
Outer waterfall.
Is that the one it's complaining about?
As I said, I didn't export that one, right?
It looks like you did modify it, and you did export it at some point. So if we discard that changes, and then come back into Unity...
You don't have a folder name.
And now it generates okay.
Oh.
It did break on some Omni-Weapon stuff, which I'm less concerned about. But now if you run it, I think it'll be okay. So I think you exported the right one as a... when you saved it out, you exported over the JSON file, but without it being a proper setup animation for it. And that one was busted. And because that one was busted, it was not loading... it wasn't getting to L. So it fails silently on you.
Okay.
After it had broken on a different one. Now, I don't think
Now
that's...
it's a still.
Now it's not animating. So... scene... Oh, it's down here. So that's still... It's not moving. It's missing the runtime controller. Oh, because we need to type in forest and create prompts. So we generated the animation, but now you have to recreate the prompt.
Okay.
That should hopefully hook everything back up correctly.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I would never figure that out.
Yeah, it's you. So you just exported the right one as a JSON file without hooking up any of its animations. So you opened the PNG and then exported, and then that was breaking my system. And this is what I'm talking about, like bad edge cases. There should have been an error message there being like, this JSON file is wrong. You know, like there should have been ways of it catching that without completely busting the system and then breaking on a completely different file that you weren't even focusing on. Is that now working correctly?
The timing is off, and I didn't change the time. Did I change the timing? I can figure that one out though. I'll just look at the other sprite files and see what's going on.
Yeah, I think at its core, the main issue though is that the original waterfalls didn't get saved out as sprite files essentially.
Yes.
Because all of these should be sprite files, not PNGs that you're working on directly.
Well, the sprite files, they were the ones that are layered funny. They're not formatted correctly. Thank you.
No worries. I think in some regards that's so it's both my tool could be better at communicating when you're doing something it doesn't expect, so it could be more hardened, but I think also the I think the processes of like when we're finished building a new animating prop, we must make sure that we keep that sprite file so that if you want to make changes to it in the future, we don't have to rebuild it in this way. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so this grabs this.
How do I put in pixel textures? Mohammed has a couple of questions in chat there.
How are you already made pixel textures on a 3D model? I mean, on a complex shape.
Oh, that's just sprite work.
Well, no, so that's UVing. The term you're looking for is like UV mapping. Essentially, the base floor tile has this object model, and this model has 3 textures, or sorry, in this case 3 materials assigned to it for each of the 3 faces. And I set that up in Blender, and then each of those 3 faces, with each of them having their own material, essentially gets mapped. So I think I may have rewritten or repointed some in Unity to this material, but these textures then render. It's a little more complicated than that. I'm doing a little bit more work, but yeah, essentially this just has like a texture assigned to it. In order to make it pixel perfect, that is kind of complicated to explain, but essentially it is this object I have made through a lot of trial and error to be the exact right size to render with my camera settings, and it was a lot of just like changing the size until I found something that worked essentially. But it has to do with my orthographics camera size, my camera's position, my camera's rotation, and then the size of the actual object. So like that part is going to be kind of unique for each setup and is hard to explain, but at its root, the way that I'm applying the textures onto the 3D object is with some simple UV mapping. I hope that explains. Okay. Okay, I think I see. Okay, so we need to do... dot invoke here. But we need to get the parameters passed in.
I'm gonna try some of these leaves.
Unless we don't. Unless we just make it so this thing always runs on the whole thing. I just want to see if I can get this to work. So this is a special augmented version that's essentially going to find any prop with the name work in progress, which is inside of the console app part. That's hard, that part's kind of hidden. But if I make a new floor, so that'll be under here somewhere. Under
like that.
global. Let's make a test folder. And I'm going to make a new sprite file. Oh, I don't know if size matters. Let's make it 64 by 64. I'm not sure what the size needs to be. And then I'm just going to make this a solid purple square. And then we're going to put this in the dungeon props sprites global test decal test. Cool. So now this exists here. Are you the one who created this idea? I'm not entirely sure what you mean in terms of like putting pixels on 3D geometry like this. Yes, but it did take me like of the 5 years we've been working on this project, a good chunk of that time was getting it to look this good. A large part of it is just playing with that. Like working with pixels, especially in Unity, is extremely tricky and took a long time to kind of get right. There were other resources I used in terms of like GDC talks and like other like things over the years, but a lot of it was like I run into a specific problem, Google solutions for that specific problem. I need to have work in progress in the name, again, for the console app to recognize this. And then if I hit slice and anim props, and then create props, I don't think I need to do the slice and anim because this is not an animation prop, but I think I just need to hit create props. If I've done this correctly, it should generate a final version of this texture. This is doing it for every single asset in the game right now because I didn't give it a folder to look at specifically.
Spicy.
Yeah, a little bit. Okay, it did not work. We also had a lot of errors. Specifically with the Omni Weapon display controller.
Not my Omni weapon.
Yeah, I don't know why you were seeing the same errors. I'll have to look into that. And then an issue with textures. Okay. So that did not do it what I asked it to.
Leaves.
I may need to actually open up the console app for the first time in a long time. So it is hitting this code. Yeah, I might have the console app, open the console app and take a look at this. Because it is running, it's just not doing anything. I mean, yeah, you can. I don't know if you'll find a lot of people there who are interested. I don't think I have a space set up for that right now, though.
You have an art share.
Yeah, but I don't think we have a like programming game share section in the Discord. I think it's just general chat right now.
It's a great opportunity.
I would say hold off for now, and I will try and set up something in there for like share your work.
Just
so it's not spamming general chat. But again, there's not a lot of folks in there. A lot of the people in the Discord are more like die-hard fans from like when I did Minecraft stuff many years ago. We do have an art share section. That is already set up.
Have at it.
I believe.
Yeah.
Oh no, that is not public.
Oh, is it me?
No, there's an art feedback section, which I guess could be the same thing. But there was supposed to be, we had looked at setting up an art posting area, but we had not actually put that through yet.
Whoopsie. Looks like we have our offline to-do list.
Oh, I broke a lot of stuff.
You okay?
No.
Everything is awful.
Yeah. In trying to get this decal thing to work, I've busted all the props. That's fine, I can revert it. Sounds good.
Love to see more art.
Yeah, we're kind of at an impasse where I'm going to have to open up the console app and try and figure out what it's doing in order to actually figure out how to get this decal to work. I guess the other way I can look at it is if I come into here and go to room processor and I put in like props and then run this, does that do what we want?
I should be saving my
No,
buttons.
that also fails.
Oh, I got that one.
Do I have it named incorrectly? Does it need to... No, it should just have to include work in progress in the name. And it should generate a final version of it. If I copy this up and put it in the woods folder, type in woods, and then run, it does generate a final for it. Okay, maybe the console app just isn't smart enough to go down multiple folders. You have to give it an exact folder address.
That does sound like something you would do to make sure it's secure. It won't grab anything you don't want it to, though.
Some of this, well, no, it's the easier way to do it is to just have it like do one folder. Having to set up multiple folders is more of a pain.
Whoops. Man, I've been wanting to hit the wrong button a lot here.
If I do it this way, I can get access to the folder and modify it before invoking, and then we can invoke this on every folder. And then in here, if we return this setup, does this make it function? Every folder we're going to try to ISO the props. I don't love that I'm basically running a console app every single folder that we search through. That's going to get pretty costly. But let's just see if this works. Yeah, we're going to hit this a bunch. That is not working. Because folder name is not what we need here. Actually, we might be able to just get the information we need from directory path. What is directory path in this situation? Assets, infinite retries. Yeah, I think we just need this value. Does it have a slash at the front? It does not. there's some formatting stuff to figure out here, but I think we might be able to do something like this to get it to function. It's just a very different format. I'm gonna have to format it correctly.
Is that going to take you a while, or are you okay?
I mean, everything's okay. It's just a question of, oh, what time is it?
It is. Well, we started 15 minutes late, so we are on time.
We are not on time. We
Aren't
want
we
to
on
be,
time?
no, we are over by a bit.
We started 15 minutes late.
It is 2:09, and even then, we want to make sure that we're off around 4 so that we can take a proper dinner. Okay, so we're gonna call it here.
Oh, how did I
We're
mess up that?
calling it for the first 2 to 4 stream. We'll be back around 6 to continue doing more game dev stuff. I'm gonna see if I can get this decal stuff working, as well as there's a few other bugs I want to work on. But I feel like, Drixy, you've been having a good time getting back into like working with the art systems. It's been a little while since you've done any floors or
Yeah.
done any anim props.
It's just remembering the little tricks. Like, I had a floor here, and I go like this, and I just painted it in like kindergarten style, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just get rid of all my art. I select it. I go back to my new layer, bam, and just clear it. Oh wow. Well, while I'm on the spot, everything breaks. Of course. Hang on. Selecty, go there, and just erase it, and you're gonna be okay. If it works, which is not. Don't mind me. Something has happened. Oh, I accidentally locked it. Bam.
There you go. I believed in you. But yeah, no, we'll be back around 6 PTST or Pacific time. PST. So in about an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah.
For now, though, this will be till